Hi, good morning. We're back. It's Tuesday, and I had my face cut off last Friday. We're going to talk about my face. We're going to talk about a concert. We're going to talk about a secret personality I didn't know I have, and the books and the knitting and the things. See you on the flip side. So last Friday, I had my skin cancer removed. Yay! Everybody cheer. What? Yeah, it was fine. You know, this is not my first bout with cancer. And the first bout was so much more serious than this, that this is just nothing. This is really nothing. And it doesn't hurt. It doesn't bother me. I mean, I'm aware of it, but it doesn't even bother me as much as a paper cut on my thumb would bother me, especially if it's my left hand. Left-handed here. So I go to the doctor's office and something happens to me when I walk into a doctor's office. You know how some people get really shy and reserved and nervous and they just don't really talk? Nope, not me. Doctor's office personality comes out. Oh my God, people. There is this actual Leanne voice in my head that talks to me and says, shh, stop talking. So, as you know, when they do cancer surgery, the idea is they've got to get clear margins, meaning they've cut the area enough so that all the skin around the outside is non-cancerous. So it's about finding the clear margins. So the nurse numbs me up. That's no big deal. You know, I'm chitty-chatting with her. Yes, excessively. The doctor walks in, looks at my face, grabs his whatever it is that he uses, the knife of cutting, and he starts cutting on my face. And people, what is wrong with me? I start singing, Margin, Margin Man. I want to get a Margin Man. And I'm like, oh my God, I just did that out loud. Nurse and doctor do the obligatory giggle and probably think, oh my God, it's going to be one of those days. In the course of the whole procedure, by the way, the cutting took about 1/8 of the time as the stitching did. I've got about 10 really cute stitches here that feel like really bad chin hairs, let me tell you. But while he was stitching me up, I'm talking to him. I am friends with a doctor who is in the office that's floor above him. I've known Dr. Lowe since childhood. We live next door to each other. So I'm chatting to him about Dr. Lowe. Did you know his mother was a Yugoslavian princess? Did you know I got to meet the king of Yugoslavia? Did you know I went to the Serbian Orthodox Church and had no idea what was going on? Why am I telling this man this? Anyway, mercifully, doctor's office Leanne has gone to bed again. And we're just back to regular obnoxious Leanne. I don't know about you, but when you get to be a certain age, you get to reflect on things. At least I hope you're reflecting on the things that you've done in your life. And I have to say, in the last couple of weeks, I have reflected on aspects of my life that made me cringe so badly. I was like, oh my gosh, I was so obnoxious, so cringe, so annoying. Of course, that can be said for things I did last Friday, but wow. So I'm hoping that the voice of Leanne, the smart Leanne, talks to me a little bit more often and reminds me to chill because, oh boy, doctor's office personality Leanne is not a good thing. Last Sunday, we went to a concert again. This will be next, and the coming Sunday, we have another concert. That's 4 Sundays in a row where we have concerts. We're kind of done, but this one last Sunday was incredible. So, as you know, a couple of weekends ago, I sang with the Long Beach Camerata Singers. We sang the Fauré Requiem and some other pieces. Well, we also had a second concert of the exact same music, but with a smaller group. There were only 24 of them. And they had this concert up in Palos Verdes. It was beautiful. It was on the ocean in this beautiful church. It was fantastic. Anyway, my pseudo son-in-law, my daughter's partner, sang the solo. And so I'm just going to show you a clip of that. as I said in the video a couple of weeks ago, I really hate singing in front of him because trained singer, not trained singer. Excellent voice. So I only practice my singing when he's not here, which is stupid because he loves me and he already knows how bad my voice is. So it's like, it's not going to be a revelation. That's like the person who is overweight who says, oh, I can't wear this. It's too tight. People will know I'm fat. Right, because this was the outfit that was that revelation. Hey, my friends, my younger friends, the 30-somethings and 40-somethings who are bigger women, have embraced their beautiful bodies so much better than I ever did. In fact, I had a moment this morning looking at myself in the mirror just before I got in the shower and just, oh, talk about cringe. But hey, I'm the only person that has to look at this, so I'm not that worried about it. But I wish I'd had that same body positivity as I was a younger woman and growing up, because I worked very hard to look not as big as I was, and yet that really was not successful. All right, so let's do a quick knitting recap just because we didn't last week, right? Good idea. All right. We finished the purple socks, both of them. Actually, I have the other one somewhere. Where is it? Oh, here it is. It's got this really cute cable pattern, mock cable. This pattern is called the Hibernal Sock by Summer Lee. I love this. I don't know why I needed something springy, so I knit lavender socks, as one does. I think I showed you this sock that I finished, the green one with the weird yarn. I am literally at the toe for the second one, so I'll finish this one today. Thank you. I'm so glad to be done with this pair of socks. I've hated this yarn. I'm not even sure I'll ever wear these, but they'll be done. But the excitement of the week, I used a system to design my chicken socks. Let me show you the socks, and then I'll tell you about the system. Chickens! I got chicken socks. These are going to be for my granddaughter. She did not request chicken socks. She just requested socks. Anyway, aren't they fantastic? So let me tell you how I did the pattern, because this woman, Jamie Lomax. Jamie Lomax is a sock designer, and she came up with an absolutely brilliant concept, and I wish I'd thought of it. She calls it doodle knit. And so she published a book called Doodle Knit, where there are a million different small little samples of colorwork patterns that you can do. The idea being is you pick and choose and stack them up together the way you want. If you want chickens, you get chickens. If you want chickens and ducks, you can do chickens and ducks. If you want chickens and ducks and houses, you can do chickens and ducks and houses. You see what I'm saying? Anyway, I'm having so much fun with this. So I took her chicken design and some other things, and I made it up together, and we have the chicken socks. This yarn, I think I showed you this the other day. This is a yarn from a club I belong to, and this was called Backyard Chicken. So naturally, I had to knit chickens. I also got some squishy mail this week. We remember that term? New yarn. It's so fun. So this is a yarn club I belong. Frankly, I only belong to 2 yarn clubs, I think. And I put one on pause, so I'm really not sure where this yarn is coming from. But this is very springy. Look at this combo. And it'll be fun. We'll see what we're going to make with this. Maybe I'll choose some spring doodly things. Summer Lee just released her April color cuff pattern, and it is of a little cloud with rain coming down, and that's very cute for April showers. But I thought that was really pretty. Good squishy mail, and they give you little fun things like this. I have a flamingo, yes. Because that's what I always wanted as a knitting thing, was a flamingo. Oh, it's cute. Knitting people are weird. And yes, I do put myself into that category. I finished some great books this last week. Let me tell you what they are, because I think these will be books you want to read. So, The Wild Dark Shore. I really have a hard time saying that. Wild Dark Shore by Charlotte McConaghy. Wow, did this turn out to be amazing. So, as I explained, it's near future dystopian. Sea waters are rising. We're on the southernmost tiny island below Tasmania in Australia. It is a subarctic island. Bad things have happened. A woman washes up on shore, and then we have the story. It is a story and testament of love and friendship and loyalty, and it was really good. I highly recommend this. I give this a strong A-. I can't say enough good about this. Yes, it was out of my comfort zone, and yes, there were moments when I was a little having to do my deep breathing to get through the more tense scenes, but wow, incredible book. I guess I thought this was her debut novel, and I am wrong. She's written others that have been very well received. So she's an author I will likely pick up again because I was very impressed. The other book I finished is The Story She Left Behind by Patti Callahan Henry. Yes, this is what I would call chick lit women's literature only because it's very woman-centered. It is a story of a mother, daughter, granddaughter redemption. It is a beautiful story. It's light, it's gentle, it is the perfect salve for what you need right now. So, The Story She Left Behind by Patti Callahan Henry, really good. I want to read more of her things. She's written a book about the wife of C.S. Lewis, and I think I'd really like to read that. She has a lovely tone about her writing. Let's say that. I am currently reading a novel by one of my very favorite authors, John Scalzi. John Scalzi writes sci-fi. But wait, this ain't Star Trek. Well, I guess that's not a true story because he does have a book called Redshirts, which builds upon the concept of the Redshirts on Star Trek always being killed. By the way, that book is incredible. You're going to want to read that one. John Scalzi is funny. He's witty. He's bizarre. He comes up with these insane scenarios. So this book is called When the Moon Hits Your Eye. And the premise is the moon has suddenly turned to cheese. Right? Bizarre. But oh, the stories he weaves into that are so great. Anyway, I'm about halfway done. It is just a book I look forward to listening to. Read by Will Wheaton. Oh my gosh, we love Will Wheaton, and he is a fantastic audiobook narrator, and I highly recommend this book. The other book I'm reading, I picked up the Barbie book again. Let's Call Her Barbie by Renee Rosen. How do I feel about this book? I've been thinking about how to explain this for a couple of days. So this is a historical fiction. It is a story about the woman and her family, the people who created Barbie. I can't put my finger on what I want to tell you about why it's not touching me. I'm too far away from the people in the story. Does that make sense? So she's telling the story to us as if she's telling me the story after she observed them doing it. So it feels removed. I'm not in the woman's head. I'm not in her feelings except for what the narrator tells me. And I just feel a little too separated. I have read other books by Renee Rosen. I liked her other books that I've read. This one, and I might end up liking it. I don't know. I just have that sense of I'm sitting at a party and somebody's telling me a story about the fact that they knew the woman who invented Barbie, and it just doesn't make it really close to me. Does that make sense? But we're reading that. No idea what's coming up next. Oh, wait, yes, I do. A book is released today. Today's April 1st, by the way. I don't do April Fool's jokes. That is not my style. But this is not an April Fool's joke. This is a great tip. Abby Jimenez, she writes romance, right? But she writes funny, poignant, important stories woven into the romance. So she has a new book coming out today. I'm going to nab that as soon as I finish one of these books because she is one of my favorites. She is an always buy person. I have a few authors and she is one of them. Emily Henry, who is another contemporary romance writer, also writes very funny novels. She has one coming out at the end of the month. So April's a really good book month. There are a bunch of really great books coming out, which is a really stupid thing to say because every month there are a bunch of great books coming out. Anyway, it's the scar. My friend and I were talking after I had the thing, and she said, "What are you going to tell people when they say what happened to your face?" Knife fight in Tijuana? Groupon facelift? Seagull attack? I wish I had the opportunity to do that. You know, to have somebody come to me and go, "Oh, what happened to your face?" "Oh, yeah, it was a Wolverine." It's really not bad. All the bandaging that they did. When I came home on Friday, I had a giant white bandage here that made me look like someone had slapped a Kotex on my face. That's an inside joke for my General Hospital people. But this is just a Band-Aid right now. I was able to take all the bandaging off, and the stitches are there, looking beautiful. And I'm a little bit bruised here, which is not surprising. The actual area that they cut out was the size of a quarter. And yet the incision is literally the length of this bandage. So I was trying to explain the physics of cutting into a round thing, which is my cheek. And the incision line he'd drawn was like that shape, because I have no idea what we call that shape. The Virgin Mary shape. I don't know what you call that. Maybe I should wrap this up here pretty quick. I have one thing to say. No, I have lots of things to say. One of the Facebook friends I've followed for many years, Renee Magnuson, sent out a newsletter earlier last week, and everything about this newsletter is fantastic, and she says everything I'm thinking, but there was one particular topic she hit on that I feel very strongly about, and I agree with. We are all familiar with the wellness industry. Everything from you got to take your vitamins and do your colonics to, oh my gosh, you've got to sit with ayahuasca and get in touch with yourself. So there's this whole drama of wellness. And you can drop in, if you're curious, my God, just go on YouTube and type in something interesting like self-actualization. Oh my God. The point that my friend Renee made was the wellness industry is designed to be an industry, number one. Therefore, the point of it is to make money, not to get people well. And so whether you're in a traditional therapeutic setting, and I have sat in that and it was great, or an alternative therapeutic setting like a ceremony, an ayahuasca ceremony, or ketamine, or whatever you choose to do. And I have no judgment because I know everyone finds the thing that works for them, at least if they're really looking and thinking about it. But the point being is that I can't tell you how many times I have sat in a ceremony or in a situation where people are talking about their pain and they're rehashing it for the 73rd time. And at some point, I have to say to myself, look, we know what happened. We know that trauma presented itself because of this experience. Can we just put this experience on the shelf and look at how you're living each day? You've already dug up the trauma. You don't have to keep exhuming it and checking it out and making sure that you still have it, because that's exactly what will happen. You will still have it. So I have really thought about this. The idea that the wellness industry is an industry. It's not about wellness. That's just the niche that they are presenting themselves in. I have been in situations where I have paid a lot of money to learn techniques for healing, only to get in the process that, whoa, these are really just designed to keep me doing the thing and paying somebody money to help me through this. That is not healing. Healing is, wow, I had a really crappy childhood. I've done my work. I'm trying to live in this world the best I can. Let me use the tools and skills I've been taught And let me move through each day with the goal of peace and comfort and well-being. The goal is not to be constantly digging up your old crap and looking at it again. I mean, do we need a trophy case of our trauma? I know some people do. I'm not one of those. And I am not one who is going to, if I am providing the therapy, oh, I hate that word. If I'm providing the guidance, is that right? Oh God, why would anyone want to follow me? Anyway, the point is, it's for their own good. It's not so that they come back next week and pay me more money. Do you see what I'm saying? So life is really hard enough right now. The country is going to hell in a handbasket. We have crazy people telling us crazy things. Really insane things are happening in our streets. Why the hell would we want to go back and dig up our childhood trauma? Isn't present day trauma enough for you? I mean, really, we should all get a trophy for living through this timeline, right? So the bottom line for me in my life when I wake up every morning is I want to feel peace. I want a sense of comfort, of safety, normalcy. I am not one who likes to dig up drama. You all have people in your lives who are your resident drama queens. Fantastic. Let them be drama queens. But that's not my style anymore. Used to be really cringe. I believe we discussed that. But I hope I'm doing better now. Aside from doctor's office personality, Leanne, good God. Hopefully she's gone for a while, at least for 2 weeks until I go back and have my stitches removed. Oh my God. So my wish for you this week, as we move forward, be well, be happy. Find the small things in your life that bring you comfort and surround yourselves with them. Cook good food. Have a good wine. Read a good book. Watch something silly on television. By the way, if you haven't seen The Residents on Netflix, you need to watch that because that is seriously one of the best TV shows I've ever watched. Hilarious murder mystery takes place in the White House. Shonda Rhimes. Need I say more? Also, Mid-Century Modern, a new sitcom on Hulu about 3 lovely queens who live in Palm Springs, and one of them is an ex-Mormon. Who knew? Anyway, enjoy yourselves. Have a great week. We will talk to you soon.